Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Waves of Sound. I'm Nikolai, and I'm starting this way because today we're going to talk in detail about my personal experience with headphones. For the past 4 years or so, I have been a regional representative for several audio equipment brands, including Audio-Technica, who makes a number of products, perhaps the most famous of which are their headphones. As before and now, I have always expressed my personal opinion, and I believe that every democratically minded person should do the same, to be honest with himself, with his customers and with his partners. Although my honesty is often not liked by employers and partners, and even cost me my previous job, I think that I will be completely open with you here, and I will continue this honest and open trend by informing you about my personal experience in the electronic world and the devices I have had access to. Today, we are talking about headphones. They are more in appearance and color than the candies in the biggest candy store you have ever entered. Having my own small recording studio, I personally have to use headphones often. But since my work in the studio is very short, usually 5 minutes or so, my headphones are more likely to sit and collect dust than to do the hard work. Years ago, I also worked on a local radio. I used AKG headphones there. Very sturdy, decent sound, but extremely ugly design. Later, I used Technics, Sony, Stanton and many other brands for DJ work. But that was during the time of 2 Unlimited. Now we will focus on the last few summers. I will start with Bayerdynamic DT770. A lot of people rave about them, and maybe for a good reason. However, my opinion is as follows. Workmanship perfect, cable strength impeccable, comfort top, and as everything goes great, in the end comes terrible sound. Well, it's not that terrible. I'll try to explain it like this. To me they sound muffled, unclear, inaccurate, incorrect and totally different from what is heard on the monitors, my laptop or any other source. If you ask me, all the positives after what was said at the end lose any meaning. My opinion is that they are very good for a vocal booth, where closed headphones are needed and where a lack of accuracy is not such a big deal. Then, as you already know, I discovered Audio-Technica. From them, I bought M50X with my own funds. Not 1, not 2, but 3 pieces. M60X, 1 piece, and many other models. And I'll tell you right away. For this money, you will not be able to find a headphone that sounds as good, accurate, and correct. Period. That's why I continue to use them every day, even today. Well, I'm no longer part of Audio-Technica team, by the way. But, as I said, I want to be completely honest, and I will point out some aspects of the brand that personally do not make a very good impression on me. The MSR7s broke, even though they were really one of my favorite headphones for travel and sport activities. Now they look like this. Their repair and spare parts are quite expensive, and it is impossible for the average user to replace the parts or to repair them without visiting the dealer workshop. The only thing that you can change yourself is the main cable. Unfortunately, the problem cables are most often in the headband and not in this main long replaceable output cable. And as we already noted, the parts are very expensive. And at the end of the day, most customers prefer just to throw them away rather than repair them. The headband also has chunks of peeling leather and all over the place. And the same goes for the ear cups. The sound of the Bayerdynamic 770 is bad, and the Audio-Technica is perfect, but the rest of the Bayer is perfect, and the M50X other aspects definitely leave something to be desired. Last, but definitely not least, is the design. Bayerdynamic is with a rather conservative design, while the Audio-Technica M50 is modern looking, attractive and beautiful. Let's mention another brand that many sound engineers often use when it comes to mixing and field recording. Sony MDR7506 is a favorite choice for many audio specialists, from the boom pole operator to Andrew Sheps. These headphones have seen a lot of use. The surprise for me was the following. Before I bought them, I read a bunch of reviews in which the opinion of many audio experts was that they are very flat, or in other words, without much bass and with highs that are not so impressive. When they arrived though, I was pleasantly surprised when I compared them to the M50. My surprise was that they were very close to Audio-Technica in sound, and the metal headband and their compact size actually becomes a bonus. However, before you say to yourself, they must be wonderful, take your time, slow down, because, as I told you, their sound is very close to the one of the Audio-Technica M50X, but it's definitely not the same. In addition, Sony is on ear, in other words, on top of the ear, while the Audio-Technica M50 is over ear and the M50X are much more comfortable for long listening. To confirm my own look and short review of these headphones, I have created a special wooden head with incorporated condenser microphones inside. The mics inside are Luit, but will not mention it more because the Luit team supports only channels with a few million subscriptions, so I will not give them any credit or some info about their products. They simply don't deserve it. I try my best to ask them just 3 times. To push them more is against my education and personal behavior. Let's get back to the binaural microphone head. This way, if you listen this podcast on quality headphones, you'll be able to spot the nuances of each model quite clearly. I will play for you a track on each headphone and I will record them with my Zoom recorder. I will also play the recorded take for each model and will mark them as A, B, and C. At the end of the demo, I will reveal which one is which. So, enjoy the sound and spot the differences. Well guys, here is the reveal. Headphone A was the M50X, headphone B was the Sony MDR7506, and headphone C was the Bayerdynamic 770 Pro 80 ohms. The choice is not easy, unfortunately. Here is the time to mention something interesting. In the real life, when you take and listen to these headphones, Audio-Technica will have a small advantage over the Sony, and Bayer will still be at the end. But here in today's test, Sony might be chosen as the winner. But remember, 100 people will have 100 different ears. So what sounds good to you might not be sounding good to other people. Music and sound is a subjective thing, and often what is perfect in theory is definitely not perfect in real life, and vice versa. You and only you have to choose the perfect sound quality of the Audio-Technica M50X, the exceptional strength and build quality of the Bayer, or the flexibility and wide spectrum capabilities of the Sony MDR7506. If you could combine all 3, it will be great, but you can't. And before I end today's episode with the possible question why I don't mention anything about Sennheiser, who is also among the top headphone brands, I can say the following. Sennheiser is another very dear brand for me, and I use their products. I only have Sennheiser and Neumann microphones in my studio. Actually, even now you're listening to one of them, but I've never owned any of their headphones. I know some of them are exceptional, but not at this price point like the other three brands. If the Sennheiser team sends me some headphone models for just check and tests, I'll be very happy to do a review for them as well. But in the price range of around 100 to 150 euros, these are the three headphones that I can show you and compare here. Also, knowing that the Sennheiser have serious problems lately and that they even sold some of their businesses to other companies, I just prefer not to ask them about products and info right now. On the other hand, I hope you found today's headphones episode useful. If so, please like, share, subscribe, and come back here again for more and more audio-video gear and electronic information from our everyday life. If you need audio or video advertising or video recording here in Bulgaria, you can contact me and my team. Our portfolio includes work for companies and projects for Lidl, Kaufland, Porsche, BMW, Johnny Walker, and many others. You can find us at www.bulgariansound.com. From me, Nico, stay healthy, turn up the music, and smile some more because summer is quickly winding down. And we are enjoying the last sunny days. Bye, and I'll see you soon.